Thanks for tuning in to You Had Me at Black. In this next story, Nnenna from California attends an Afro-Caribbean dance class to celebrate a friend's birthday. What starts off as a good time quickly turns ugly as the effects of appropriation and gentrification rear their heads. Stay tuned to hear from Nnenna.
I want you to breathe all this in.
This is You Had Me at Black, the podcast where black millennials tell true life stories.
So, we're all in San Francisco right now. So as we know, in San Francisco, like a super big buzzword is gentrification, right? And in the big picture, we see gentrification, and that is displacing, thousands of families, like specifically like Latino and black families. But we also see gentrification in our everyday lives, right? So part of gentrification is displacing people, but also destroying communities and ruining people's cultures. So my story specifically is about a microaggression I experienced in San Francisco a few weeks back. And a microaggression is, it can be a statement, it can be an action between you and somebody who has, it's a power dynamic between you and someone else, and they may say something or do something that reaffirms that power dynamic. It was my friend's birthday, so me and 3 other black girls planned to go to a dance studio to take an Afro-Caribbean dance class. And, before I was a little skeptical. I'm like, San Francisco, Mission, dance class, Afro-Caribbean. I don't know. But, I figured it's my friend's birthday, so we might as well give it a try. And, I asked some of my friends if they've ever been to one of the classes, and they all said no. And I asked them if they knew the race of the instructor or any of the background of the instructor, and they said no. But we were all willing to give it a try because we have very low expectations for San Francisco, and it's just to have fun since it's someone's birthday. We headed over to the dance class, paid our $5, and we went inside the studio. I walked in, and I had big red hair, and some tights on, and I got a kind of a little big booty. So I'm just looking like this crazy little black girl, and I'm 5'2", so it's just this bundle of energy. So we get into the dance class, and it's 40 girls, and majority of them are white, and me and my friends are the only black girls in that class. I don't even think if there were Asians or Latina girls. It's I think strictly white girls, with their little rainbow slippers and North Face jackets or Lululemon yoga pants. Then I looked at the instructor, and the instructor was very racially ambiguous, so I didn't want to make assumptions about her race. She could have been black or mixed, but I didn't know. She looked like this indie hipster type of girl, so I was like, okay, maybe it would be kind of cool. And then they were playing hecka poppin' music. She started playing Work, and we're running around in circles, warming up for the dancing. So it's 30 minutes into the dance class, and we're still warming up. So then she starts playing some dance hall music and starts teaching us, some routines, but the routines are aerobic moves. They're not dance hall. They're not no African, West African, East African, no type of African moves in that. But you're playing African music. You're playing Caribbean music, but there's no dance moves. I'm going to go to the front of the class or go next to the dance instructor and try to enjoy the class because it's my friend's birthday. And also my friends weren't really enjoying it. They had blank stares on their face, but they were also taking one for the team. So I was let me just liven it up a little. Let me just dance. It's my friend's birthday. And then, she starts putting in the routine, the Upon the River dance. So I was okay, I'm going to get into this. Upon the River dance is you're kayaking or something, right? For the white people who are listening to this, I'm just playing. You're scooping, water on each side. It's just you're paddling. Just paddle on one side, you're paddling on another side, and you're jumping in the air, and you're kind of moving your body to each side that you're paddling in. So it's a move that you put your whole little oomph into it, your whole little style into it. I already have that dance move down, so I was okay, I'm going to put a little bit more shaking into it. And so I'm enjoying myself at this point. I'm I'm just going to take one for the team again. I guess that's the common theme, take one for the team. And then the instructor goes to the back of the classroom, turns off the music, and makes a public announcement. Now, let me tell you, it's 4 black girls, 40 white girls in that room. And the instructor makes an announcement. She's like, specifically to me, she calls me out. She's like, I'm all for creativity. I'm all for putting in your own little style, but, you're really distracting me while dancing next to me. Can you please go to the back of the dance room? And at that point, I'm in shock. I'm like, no, she didn't. Like, she really didn't just tell this black girl with big red hair to get to the back of the dance. Like, I don't even think she understood the implication of that. I'm in shock. And again, like, I don't want to make a big scene. None of my friends said or did anything. So I was just like, whatever. I just went to the back of the classroom because we still had like an hour left in the dance. So the only thing I can think to do is just be on my phone and tweet everything that's happening. So I'm just tweeting away. And at that point, I'm not dancing at all. I don't engage the class at all. And then, like 30 minutes after, the person at the front desk comes in, stops the music again, makes a quote-unquote general announcement saying, oh, I'm glad that everyone's enjoying the class, and I know there's a group of ladies who came to celebrate a birthday, a.k.a. me and 3 other black girls. And I just want to reiterate our policy of no videotaping. And I'm like, I'm the only one in there on my phone in the back. So at this point, it's another trigger, right? It's another microaggression, like, oh my gosh. And again, I'm still in shock. And then there was a point where there was a short little break and the dance instructor comes and talks to me and she's like, oh, did you want to talk about like what happened? I was like, what is there to talk about? And she's all like, well, it's just that you dancing next to me or behind me, just really made me forget my routine. She's like, it's just really distracting when people are not following what I'm doing. And I was like, well, there's a whole bunch of girls in here who are not following anything you're doing. Like, they're struggling to get your basic moves. And I have not seen you turn off the music and target them like you've targeted me. And she just kept saying like, oh, they're trying, they're putting in effort. I don't see a problem with it. I was like, but I'm actually doing it. And yet you're targeting me. Until after the class, I went to the front desk and I was like, so is there any way that should I write a Yelp review, or do you have an email address or a phone number of a manager that I can talk to and complain about? I felt like I was racially profiled and targeted in a specific way that no one else would have been targeted in. And then, we're just kind of going back and forth and I'm telling them everything that happened. And then the instructor comes out and says, is there a problem? And I was like, yes, there's a problem. And she says the same thing again. Then I was like, how many years have you been teaching this class? I don't remember how many years she said, but it's been like a substantial amount of time. So, we're just going back and forth. And she's like, well, I've been to Reggae Gold in Oakland and San Francisco for the last 10 years in the Bay. So Reggae Gold is like a specific dance hall party that's been going on in the Bay in San Francisco and Oakland. She's like, plus I've been to Jamaica twice. I was like, so now you're a certified dance instructor because you're all authentic because you danced at Reggae Gold and you went to Jamaica twice? Like, at that point, I'm getting angrier. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just the audacity of the things that she's saying to validate why she targeted me and told me to get to the back of the classroom. Like, you're playing all the latest hits, latest Nigerian hits, and I'm Nigerian. So, of course, I'm going to, be feeling the music. And then, as I said, like, she was racially ambiguous. So I asked her, I was like, well, are you black? And she's all like, no. And I was like, this bitch. Like, I was like, well, maybe that's the problem. And I was like telling the people at the front desk, I was like, next time, maybe you guys should hire a black woman or black person to teach the class. And maybe we won't run into these issues. If the instructor was Jamaican, if she was Trinidadian, if she was Nigerian, Ghanaian, somewhere in the black African diaspora, then it wouldn't have been a problem. If I was dancing or if I was doing anything, like it's a group exercise class, she would have been cheering me on. I just left the establishment just extremely angry, and I was just cursing her out, like, up until I got into my Uber. And also I felt very isolated because I was with 3 other girls, and none of them said anything. All of them were just act like nothing's wrong or that I'm overreacting. Like, none of them enjoyed the class. And then we got into our Uber, and one of the girls I was with was like, oh, Nnenna, like, calm down. Like, I could come back to this class. And I'm like, ain't nobody going to remember that she was a black girl who was in this class. And just comments like that, it's just reaffirming how natural it is for white girls or whatever type of girls to bastardize and do whatever they want to our culture or to our dance.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, visit youhadmeatblack.com/review to leave a review and subscribe.